Right now, hundreds of millions of people are paying $20 a month for ChatGPT. Another couple million are paying for Claude, and most of them are using these tools in the same exact way. Ask a question, get an answer, and move on. But something just happened that none of these people are paying attention to. Because a few weeks ago, Perplexity launched something that made every single model AI look like a flip phone. And I don't mean it's just a little bit better. I mean the tools we've been building our entire workflows around are now in the past, and most people still have no idea. Here's the thing nobody talks about. Every AI tool you use right now locks you into one or a few small models. When you open ChatGPT, you get a GPT. When you open Claude, you get Claude. If the task you're currently working on would be handled better by a different model, well, too bad. You're stuck with whatever model you picked. And that used to be okay. Because for the last 2 years, the question has always been, which model is the smartest? GPT versus Claude versus Gemini. But that debate is over, because the answer turns out it was none of them. No single model is the best at everything. GPT gives great fast answers but has shallow reasoning. Claude thinks super deep but sometimes struggles with browsing the internet. Every model has strengths and every model has weaknesses. And here's exactly what that means for you. Every tool that locks you into using one specific model forces you to eat up that weakness. No matter the task, no matter the day, you're constantly at a disadvantage. You're not getting the best AI. You're getting the best that AI can do. That's the initial crack in the foundation, and Perplexity just drove a truck right through it. Perplexity Computer isn't a chatbot, it's not a search engine upgrade, it's not a new ChatGPT wrapper. It's an orchestration system. All you need to do is give it an objective, not a question, an objective. It breaks down the objective into smaller tasks. Then it spins up specialized sub-agents that are made specifically for your task. And finally, it assigns every job to the AI that is best suited for that role. Opus 4.6 handles the core reasoning. Gemini is focused on deep research. ChatGPT 5.2 does long recall and broad searching. There's over 20 frontier models, but you only need to utilize one single system to get the benefits of all of them. You don't pick a model, you don't even have to think about which model you're going to use. You describe what you want done, and the system analyzes and finds the best possible option for you to get the best outcome. And it doesn't just answer and then stop. It can run for hours, days, even weeks. You just need to send one prompt in and you get a finished deliverable on the way out. It's not a chat response you have to copy paste into other tools and put everything together. You give one prompt and you get a finished deliverable. Someone built an entire Bloomberg style financial dashboard with a single prompt. Many people are running automated briefings that pull from the web. It pulls from their calendar and their task list, so they know exactly what they need to get done every single morning. This isn't just an upgrade, it's an entirely different category of tool, and it changes everything about the way the rest of the industry looks. Now, if you're still feeling like you're gonna stick to your original tools, let's get specific about what exactly Perplexity kills. 1. Google is done. Google's search engine has been quietly dying over the past few years. AI overviews were supposed to save it, but it didn't. All you got was a mediocre AI summary of the top 10 blue links. If you're heavy into research, Perplexity already replaced Google's AI. Cited answers, no ads, no sponsored results at the top of your search. But the computer honestly takes this to a different level. You don't need to search anything specific at all. You just need to provide an objective. You could say something like, build me a competitive analysis of the top AI note-taking tools. I want you to highlight the features, the pros, the cons, and the pricing. And from that, you get a finished report. It's going to cite where the research came from and how you can apply it to your own life. Google gives you 10 links, while Perplexity Computer gives you the answer and exactly how it got there. Up next is ChatGPT and Claude, and they are in some serious trouble here. This one truly hurts me to say. I use Claude every single day. It helps me with ideation, script writing, thumbnails, schoolwork. Literally everything I do in my day-to-day life goes through Claude. ChatGPT handles all of my research, competitive sweeps, idea generation. These two have been the backbone of my entire system. But here's the reality I truly cannot ignore. When I use Claude, I'm getting Claude. When I use ChatGPT, I'm getting GPT. That's it. If the task would be better served by a different model, I will never know because I'm already locked into one. So Perplexity Computer was the biggest upgrade because it uses them and 18 other models to figure out the best solution for me. The tricky part is Perplexity doesn't actually build any models of their own. Perplexity doesn't even train anything. It just functions as an orchestration system, dialing everything into the right location to give you the best results. But that's a benefit because every time ChatGPT or Claude come out with a new model that's quicker, better at thinking, or more powerful, Perplexity immediately adapts. They're not competing with the model makers. They're making the model makers compete for a slot in their system. But models aren't the only thing getting replaced. OpenClaw was one of the first AIs that could actually do actions on your own computer. Send emails, manage files, automate code, so many different things were able to be accessed just by an AI. But OpenClaw has a problem that a lot of people avoided: security. It runs locally on your machine with so much access. A third-party plugin was already found to be stealing users' data from OpenClaw. I talked about this in my AI risk video. It's a serious problem that not enough people are paying attention to. But Perplexity Computer is different. It runs inside of the cloud. It's an isolated sandbox of sorts. Every task executes inside of its own secure environment. So when you're running one task, it's not going to be overlapping with another one, creating a security risk that if one hacker could get in, they can access everything. None of it is going to touch your local machine like your own computer or your laptop unless you specifically want it to. And for those that want it to, Perplexity did just announce something new. They announced the personal computer at their developer conference a few weeks ago. Software that can run 24/7 on a dedicated local server like a Mac Mini. You get the benefit of it having access to all of your local files and apps, and it's also still going to use Perplexity's cloud to enable all tasks to be done quicker. But here's how it's going to be different from OpenClaw. Every action is going to require specific user approval, and there's also a full audit trail of everything the AI does. Finally, there's an automatic kill switch. If everything gets too overwhelming and you're worried about your data security, you can just turn it off. OpenClaw gives you a lot of power, but very minimal guardrails. Perplexity gives you that same power, but has security built in mind. And the thing people don't mention is that it constantly works. I'm really excited to see how personal computer is going to develop on the local end, but the cloud currently is super powerful. OpenClaw tends to break a lot, so users spend a lot of their time making everything work and checking their data security. Perplexity is just going to work when you need it and when you want it. Okay, now I'm not going to pretend there's no downside here. I don't think Perplexity is going to be the right fit for every single consumer. Let's just start with the hardest pill to swallow: $200 a month. That's the Perplexity Max subscription. There's no free trial, there's no way to test it out without paying. Now they are rolling out limited access to Pro users at $20 a month, but there is a catch. You're limited to 4,000 characters instead of 10,000. So if you're someone who's going to be using Perplexity a lot, it makes sense to invest in the Max subscription rather than the Pro. But if you're like me and you're not the biggest consumer and user of AI, the Pro subscription will function just fine. But if you're a casual user who only asks a few questions to AI a day, Perplexity Max is going to be complete overkill. This is not for you. But I also implore you to think about what you're currently paying for. ChatGPT is $20 a month, Claude's $20 a month, you might have Gemini, that's another $20, and then any other local things you have running. That adds up to maybe $60 to $100 a month if you have all those different subscriptions. And then you're still obligated to manually switch between all of them whenever you're getting tasks done. Perplexity replaces most of that stack and allows for automatic switching whenever it's needed, all for the price of $200 flat. For anyone that's doing serious work, such as building a business, creating a personal brand, creating content, the math adds up. $200 a month is more than worth it. But for everyone else, it doesn't, and that's fine. So when I say Perplexity is killing ChatGPT and Claude, I'm speaking specifically about those who are going to monetize their creations from Perplexity. Because it's apparent the gap between the people using Perplexity and not is only going to continue getting wider. The key takeaway for this video is that the single model era of AI is dead. Every AI has weaknesses, every AI has strengths, and those who are truly going to benefit in this new AI era are the ones who can take advantage of all of them. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.